Seated core, seated core. I need you guys to help me with the end of this class, letting me know, especially when we get to the standing stuff, if it was too hard. What do you think of the intensity level? Is it too much? I doubt it's going to be too little, but if you think it's not enough, let me know that too. But just so I get an idea of my programming on my seated core classes or my non-floor core. Non-floor core. I like that name. You ready to start? Welcome, everyone. Ageless Balance. I'm Ron. Let's go ahead and get started with core without the floor, or no floor core. Find your neutral first. We're in a seated position, butts out to the edge of the chair, shoulder blades are back, chest is out, ears, shoulders, hips, all lined up, knees, toes. Knees are at 90 degrees. Everything's pointed right straight forward. You got nice alignment. Toes all the way up through the shoulders. Hands down to the side, then bring them up on the thighs. See that? Pause for a second. It's like these. Roll the shoulders forward. Just the shoulders. Chin will come down to the chest on this one a little bit. You want to stretch the upper back. You want to feel the stretch going all the way across the shoulder blades. Deep breath in, getting that stretch just a little bit more, and then exhale, just coming back to neutral again. Maybe rolling the shoulders back a little bit. Deep breath in and exhale. Bringing the arms forward again. Shoulders forward. Stretching out the upper back and go back just a little bit deeper with it. Bring those arms back, palms forward. Shoulder blades, squeeze them together. Deep breath in and exhale. This one's going to be hard to show. Actually, it's impossible to show. But here's what we're going to do. We want to work on how to tighten up that core. And I want to make sure that we have that basics in, because every one of these exercises we're going to do is going to require this. So just seated in neutral, arms down. You want to take deep breath in through the nose and fill up the lungs, and then exhale, squeezing the core muscles. Like they say, if you're going to, you're going to get hit in the stomach. Tighten them up. And what that does is those core muscles tighten up. It pushes the diaphragm up and drives the air out of the lungs. So you're concentrating on getting all the air out of the lungs that you can. So that's the tight core you're looking for. And then just relax it again. And once you get that feeling of how to contract the core muscles, you can kind of just do it without having to exhale quite as hard. You can just take and tighten it all up. Every time I tighten my core up, I make fists. I tighten up every muscle in the upper part of the body, because that's just kind of what happens all the way through as you do it. This is a practice you should be doing all the time, every day, throughout the day, seated, standing, it doesn't matter, lying on the bed, getting those core muscles tight, because time under tension is what builds strength. So you want to try to keep those as tense as you can. And that's just take those periods of time where you spend 2-3 minutes at the most tightening those up, but just do it throughout the day. Hands right here, hands next to the ears, elbows out, shoulders back. Starting out with just this little lean forward, chin down to the chest, rolling the back, and then bringing it back up again. We're going to go off to the side this time. Small move, just a little bit down. Make sure the sits bones stay flat on the chair as you do this. You don't want to lean off to the side. Nothing's accomplished there. Elbows are back so that you can make sure that you stay in neutral position. You got that straight line from the back of the head to the tailbone. Down to the other side, using those obliques to pull you down to the side. So important on these that you stay in neutral, because if you lean forward, as you lean sideways, that causes all sorts of problems for the vertebrae, scratching and hitting each other as you turn. All right, take it back. Just a little bit of a movement back. Not very far, just a little bit, and bring it up. We're going to get more aggressive on all of these, but I just want to try to warm us up. So now try and do this rotation that goes to the side, forward, other side, and back without crunching the back up at all. No leaning forward. It's hip hinge all the way around. Small movements, and back around again. Working the core all the way through this. We go from the obliques to the lower back, to the glutes, other side obliques, and here we come into the front. And back around. And you're there. Bring the arms down on the side. Shake that out. We're going to start out with just a hip flexion or seated march. Let's start out with up on the balls of the feet first, bringing the heels up, alternating. Start warming up those muscles in the back of the lower leg. Feel those muscles working up through the back of the heel or back of the ankle as well. Lifting that up. Take your time. Make sure the ball of the foot is flat on the floor all the way across. Up and up. Start bringing that foot up off the floor just a little bit. You can start out by pushing off the toes. Here we're making sure shoulder blades are back. Don't want to hurt the lower back, so put yourself in neutral. Always tighten up those core muscles. Squeeze them. And if you can, start bringing it up just a little bit higher. Wow, rolling the shoulder blades back. I went forward on that one badly. Up and up. So I caught myself here with the shoulders rolled forward, which means I had to bring it back and chest out. Have to watch that all the time. We all do. Those muscles in the front just get so strong and so tight after so many years of crunching forward that we really need to work on strengthening up the upper part of the back. Up, up. Hands up around the ears and rotate the torso as you lift that leg and back again. Shoulder blades are back. Spine does one thing. We're rotating it around and back. Elbows back. You want those shoulders in a straight line as you come around. So you're hinging or rotating through the middle of the back, the thoracic spine, which is the part that rotates. And center, other side. Make sure those hips aren't moving. Knees stay right straight forward. Sits bones, nothing changes through there. Everything below the waist stays right in alignment. And back. Bring it around. And back up. Shoulder rotation. Back. Again. And you're there. Bring it back to just this right here into that march. Bringing the knee up. So we're going to do here, from adding to this is up, out, in, and down, alternating. Shoulder blades back, chest out. The more we can do that, the stronger we're going to make those muscles through the upper back and the lower back. So the more this is going to become a natural position. Neutral will be natural. Up and out, working the lower abs here, working the hip flexors, quadriceps as well. Up and up. Okay, we've got that worked out. Extend the right leg out first. Shoulder blades back. Just lift lightly and back down. If you catch yourself rolling forward as you do this, just hold the bottom of the chair, fingertips, as little as you need to just maintain that torso, shoulder blades back and back down. I'm going to go the other way with this one since I'm using this leg. Up. I could have just switched legs, but no, that's too easy. Up and up. So I didn't have my shoulders all the way back. I could feel the lower back tweaking just a little bit. So I want to get back again. Here we go. Up and back down. Right hand under the chair, taking that left hand above. As you bring the right foot up, you roll the shoulders toward that left foot and back out. Up with the leg, roll the shoulders, reaching toward the toe. Don't do this. Don't lean forward to try to touch it. Back stays straight. It's a hip hinge as you come into it and back up. Down and out. And bring it up one more time. Reach down and bring it up. So if you were on the floor on your back, you'd be doing a jackknife. Going to go to the other side. Same thing. Reaching out that left foot first. Shoulder blades back. Grab onto the chair wherever you need to and lift that leg up and back down. So you want to make sure you can keep that toe relaxed. Don't pull it all the way back. Then you start getting these muscles in the back chain involved. And if they're really tight, because you've got them contracted, you're not going to be able to get that leg up. Shoulder blades back, chest out. Check yourself here. Up and back down. It's a slow move. Little bend in the knee as you bring it up. Lower abs, hip flexors. Opposite arm. Bringing that right hand down. Reach. Feel the muscles working in the upper half of the core as you roll those shoulders. So you're not rolling them down to the stomach. You're pulling them out. It's and reaching across. So you're going to feel those obliques working to rotate you. Lower abs bringing that leg up. Upper abs bringing the shoulders forward and up. Again, exhale, tighten up the core muscles. Every exercise. Every time you do it. Out. And up. 2 more. Tight. Make sure you can feel those obliques working to rotate you. And back up. Bring the arm down. How much fun was that? Okay, bring yourself back on the chair just a little bit here. I'd say 3/4 of the way back. See if you can do without touching your back on the chair. And just lift the legs up. One at a time. Find your posture. Make sure the shoulder blades are back. Roll them down. And then what we're going to do is pick the leg up just a little bit higher. Okay, you got us warmed up here in the front. Now let's bring the heels up together. Up. Grab onto the chair. Why don't you just pop off the feet just a little bit. Push up. Agility move here. Bringing those heels up first. Pushing off the balls of the feet and coming right back down. Up and back down. So slowly, as you get warmed up, you should be able to start bringing those feet up off the floor and back down. If you can't, get back farther in the chair. Now that's actually harder for me. It's better hold the bottom of the chair, and I scooched out a little bit more. I have a lot more leverage this way. And down. And down. Couple more. So you should really feel this in the front of the hips. Again, I don't like to do both legs at the same time, but as long as you're well braced, back here. If you can't, if it hurts your lower back, go back to the single leg. But if you could do both legs, bring them up and down. You're going to feel all kinds of work happening in the front chain. Through the hips, lower abs, up and back down. Hands up, shoulder blades back, straight side bend. Bring it down on the side. Get your shoulder blades back so that you have that straight line. And this time we're going to get a little more aggressive on it. Bring it down on the side and bring it back up to the top. Other side, down. Feel these muscles tighten up. Again, exhale. You will feel all the muscles work, but especially these obliques, which we're shooting for here. This is for those muscles right there. And bring it back up. Out on the other side again. Squeeze nice and tight. And bring it up. Nice and slow. Make sure you're not feeling any pressure in the lower back as you do this. One more time on each side, down. Don't bring the sits bones up off the chair. Just because the elbow's going down farther doesn't mean you're getting more stretch, that you're working those core muscles anymore. You're just leaning. Other side, again, chin up, elbows back, and then come down. Squeeze, and bring it back up. Again, shake that out. Arms out to the side, small shoulder rolls here. Give them a chance to cool off, stretch out a little bit. Been using the shoulders quite a bit. And we're going to go into a rotation here. So bring the right hand to the outside of the left leg, left hand back of the chair. The whole thing with this one is shoulders back, scoop them back as much as you can. Looking right out in front of you. Front hand stays right against that leg to prevent the knee from coming out. And using that back arm, roll the shoulder back. All the stretch will be about the top 3/4 of the back. Deep breath in and exhale back to center. Let's go to the other side. Same thing. Left hand outside that right leg. Shoulder blades are back. Scoop. You really want that chest out because that spine's got to be in neutral when you do this. If you feel any tweaking in the lower back, just stop, come out of it, set back up, and start again. Bring it around, chin stays up. So when you get into that roll about halfway, roll the shoulder blades back one more time, and you get just a little more twist out of it, and bring it back to center. All right, next part of this we're going to do is coming back in the chair, about 3/4 of the way back again, starting there, right here, seated crunch. So we're coming back, tapping the shoulders against the back of the chair, and bringing it up to center again. Shoulder blades back, chest out, little curve in the lower part of the back. Please be careful. Don't bring the chin to the chest, rolling forward and having the lower back touch the chair. Only thing that should be touching the chair are the top half of the back and out. If you're having any problems with that, slide back a little farther in the chair. But the thing is, we're going to do this every week. And by doing it every week, you should be in time able to get yourself out just a little bit farther on that chair seat. To come back up, here's the key right here. Hard exhale. So deep breath in and then force the air out, coming back up. You're going to feel core doing all the work to bring you back up, as it should be. Inhale. Exhale. You'll notice it's so much easier to keep that spine in neutral when you exhale on the way up. Bring it back. Tap. If you're having no problems with that, walk yourself out just a little bit more. Get those shoulder blades back. But the minute you start bringing those shoulders down because you're uncomfortable or to get balance, you want to step back just a little bit then. And forward. All right. Next thing we're going to do with this is hands behind the ears, shoulder blades back. And we're going to try this again, back. So this makes it a little more challenging. Also forces the back into neutral. So for this, I've got to get back quite a ways. Tap the shoulders, exhale coming up. Back, inhale on the way back. And tighten the core. I got that, so I'm going to go out just a little bit. And not having any problems with that, but I feel like I'm at the end of where I can do this. So I'm not going to go out any farther. I go to the point where I still have good form, but I still feel those muscles working in the core. One more time. Back. Exhale. Coming up. Forward we go. Hip hinge. So you've got the shoulder blades back, chest is out. Hands on the thighs. Just bring yourself down. Get a feel for this first. And get yourself back up again. Don't push through the feet while you do this. Straight down. Everything's in alignment underneath. And then shoulder blades back. Exhale. When you tighten up that core, you're going to feel how much easier it is to bring yourself up. That's what we should be doing anytime we're lifting something, is that exhale, engaging the core. The stronger the core is, the more balance you have, the more you can do. Hands up on the chest. Bring it down. Shoulder blades are back. See if you can get just a little bit deeper with it. And then all through the core. Up. Back down. Hold. And exhale as you come up again. Next piece of this to give you a little more challenge, if this works for you. If it doesn't, just stay with the hands on the chest. We're going to come down, keeping those shoulder blades back as tight as we can, and then that exhale again, up to center, back down, and exhale, drive yourself back up again. Like that. We're going to go back to front. So coming back just a little bit, you don't have to touch the back of the chair on this one, but it's that exhale, bring yourself forward, inhale right here, and then exhale again, feeling everything happening in the core. If I don't exhale, I feel myself pushing through my heels. So it's forward, and then back again. One more, take it down, coming forward, hold there, see if you can get just a little bit deeper, and then exhale, bringing you back, arms down at the side. Shake that up. Have a drink of water. We're going to go to standing. We're going to do some of the same things from a standing position. We want to get the glutes involved a little more, get these hips more involved in this when we're on the chair. All of that happens. Chair's doing the work for us. When we stand up, we start moving that into the hips to maintain that. So again, it's the core is everything. The stronger the core is, the more you can do. The safer you are, the more you can stay balanced. If you've ever seen tightrope walkers, they've got that long bar that goes across. That is for balance on side to side. But the other thing they do is they push in on it, which engages that core. That keeps them so it's tight, so they always stay right above their center of gravity, their base of support. If you get those core muscles tightened up. If you don't, you're kind of wobbling side to side. So you want to make sure those shoulder blades are back, staying in that neutral position. So when you walk, you will be much safer because you'll be right straight up over your legs. All right. Ready? Up. Small move. And up. Find your balance first. First thing you're looking for is just that balance. Up and back down. Heel comes up first. Ball of the foot. Pushing up. Other leg. So all the work, what you're concentrating on is the stance leg, the stationary leg, that the foot is flat on the floor. As you bring that up and set it back down. Other side, tighten that core up. That exhale. Even when you're doing this, you can still do that really hard exhale. It's going to hold you in place. You're not going to be wobbling back and forth. And having a lot more trouble keeping that left foot flat on the floor than I am the right. Really having to work at that. And other side. And back down. Last one. Up. And back down. Hands out front. Palms down. What you're going to do is as you bring the foot up, you're going to roll the shoulders forward. Shoulders go forward. You don't come down to the chest. It is just squeezing those upper abs to bring the shoulders forward. Lower abs, rolling that hip, bringing the leg up. Alternating. And back down. If you need to, hold on to the chair and just do it that way, making sure that you're tightening up those muscles in the core. Don't worry about balance. Hang on to the chair. We're trying to strengthen the muscles in the core so that your balance does get better. Eventually, you will be able to do this without needing the chair. Squeeze and up. Extend. And down. And one more time each side. There's one to the right, one to the left, and back down. Hip flexors for lifting the leg, lower abs. Pulling that hip up. As these get stronger, those lower abs, rolling that hip forward puts a lot less strain. It puts the lower back into its neutral position automatically so that The muscles are doing the work. You don't have to think about it every time. All right, next one we're going to do is hands up on the side of the head. Start out with just a side bend. So feet are about shoulder width apart, elbows back, chest out, coming down on the side. That's it. Not too bad. Down. Using the core muscles on the opposite side. Think about that. Again, exhale. And up. So try this. Come down on the side, and without that hard exhale, bring yourself back up again. You're not going to feel much action happening in the core, and it's even a little harder to get up. But when you exhale, you're forcing the engagement of those muscles. Down on the other side. So you can feel them activate. You can feel them working, but you're also down, strengthening up those muscles by using them. Other side down. When you can feel them work, that's breaking that muscle down so it can build back up again. And back to the top. Arms down for a little bit. We're going to take that foot out to the side, working the outside of the hip, lift, rotate out, and rotate back, staying on that same side. Lift and out. If you need to, use the chair up. Use it lightly. It is an assist. It's not holding you up. It is not a crutch. You're just using it as an assist if you need it. If you start losing your balance, you can grab right onto the chair and get it back again. Up, around, forward, and down. Other side doing the same thing. The work is happening in the outside of this hip to pull the leg out. But even more importantly, this other leg is doing all kinds of work to keep you balanced. Core is having to be involved. Tight. Shoulder blades are back. You'll notice if you exhale as you're doing this exercise, it's much easier to maintain your balance. Up, in, and back down. One more time. Deep breath in, and in and back down. So hopefully you can feel the difference in when you have that core engaged as opposed to when you don't. Hands back up along the sides. Shoulder blades are back. We're going to lift that knee up, take it out to the outside, coming right straight down. So we're not leaning toward that knee. All we're doing is coming right down the side as we bring the leg out, in and down. Again, if you need to, use the chair. Wrong arm. I need to be on the other side. Use the chair up, squeeze, and back in. Again, hold yourself up as much as you can. Engage those core muscles. Right straight down on the side and back up. You should feel these muscles working between the ribs and the hips. Rib cage and the hips. Down. Those obliques that sit in there. Up, out, squeeze, in, and back down. One more. Up, out, and back down. I'm going to the other side. And do the same thing. Hand right next to the ear. If you can do this without having to hold onto the chair, perfect. But if you need to, hand up. We're going to bring that knee up and out. Squeeze down on the side, in and back. Working the outside of the hip, working the glutes, working the hip flexor and the obliques. All kinds of stuff there. Up, in and back down. Remember, when you do that side bend, if you tighten up the core, you're going to feel it all the way through and back because you're actually contracting the shoulders down a little bit, the hip up a little bit, as well as the outside of the hip and the obliques. And back up. One more time. And back in. Let's go back to the other side. Right now, you should feel mainly all the muscles right through here from the rib cage coming down side of the butt, all the way through the side of the hip to the top of the leg, all activated. All right, for this one, we're going to bring up the leg next to the chair. Leg up, rotate the shoulders in and back down. So up. All you're doing is rotating the shoulders. When you exhale, shoulders are going to come forward. That chest is going to come out because this muscle right up through the hips to the ribs is going to tighten up. It's going to shorten. It's going to pull the shoulders forward and hip up. And back down one more time. Up. Exhale. Squeeze it all together. Up and down. So what we're going to do is the combo move. It's a combo move. Combo day. Out. Squeeze it down the side. Leg comes in and out. And then you're going to go to the other side with that knee up. So leg up and out. External rotation. Coming down on the side. Back up. Leg forward. Other leg up. Rotation through the shoulders and back. One more time. Up, out, squeeze the side, back in and down. Other one, rotate and back in. This is a great exercise because you hit the obliques on both sides, rotating both ways, hip flexors on both sides. But we're also getting a side bend in there, working things a little differently when we go from one to the other. So again, arm up, shoulder blades back, stomach in. In other words, contract the core muscles. It's so funny when they tell you stomach in, they don't tell you how to do it. And we end up just sucking it in. And that's not accomplishing what we need to do. Straight down on the side and down, up. Rotate the shoulders around and bring it back in. Arm's not going to go very far because you've got the hand on the chair, but that's okay. Out to the side. You still want to make that effort of getting that arm around, keeping the shoulder blades as square as you can so that you can feel these muscles right up by the rib cage engage. Last one, up and out, squeeze it, and in, other side up, across, and back down again. All right, you're not going to need the chair for this one. I'm going to start out. Feet, set them a little wider apart, a little wider than shoulder width apart, so you've got a good solid base underneath you. Take the hands, roll the shoulder blades back, and we're going to do a figure eight. So it's just down and around, not letting the hips turn. A really important piece of this is that you don't let those hips turn. So it's not coming around. It's just bringing the arms, squeezing those muscles on the side as you turn the shoulders, bring it up and down on the other side. So it's that canoe row. It's the same thing. Bring the arms up and other side. How we can add to that is, as you're coming down on the side, bring the knee up and tighten it together. I'm going to hold on to the chair. I'm going to have it right there because I may need it. And then switching to the other side. So you're coming up and squeeze. Around. Keeping the hips straight. If that doesn't work for you, up on the toe. Just bring it up and then squeeze it. It does the same thing. It gets the obliques just as hard when you do it that way. What you're not getting is the hip flexors, but that's okay. That's not what we're concentrating on here. Squeeze and around and back. Bringing that knee up fairly straight, not crossing the body. It's just up, roll around to the outside of it, getting outside that knee and up and around and the other side. I swear, this is one of the harder classes. The standing core class is always one of the hardest ones I do. Feet together. Shoulder blades back, chest out. Hands up. So we were out here with a nice solid base, wide stance. We're going to bring them together. We're going to work that core harder. So we're going to bring the legs in and down on the side. You really have to stay tight so that from the rib cage down, you're staying right over center. This is where you're going to really feel the difference of if you exhale when you come back up. So it's down, tighten up the core, bring you up to middle, back down, other side, and up, as opposed to just relaxing and trying to come up. First thing I do is I start rolling out that way where my weight's all out on the side. With that exhale though, core stays over. I don't follow my shoulders over to the outside. And the idea is that as we strengthen that core up, this is going to happen automatically. You don't have to think about it every time you move. Up, down, and up. Arms down. We're going to go to the back of the chair. We're running out of time here. Stepping back, we're going to go into a tabletop. Feet flat on the floor. Little bend in the knees to start out with, and then the butt goes right straight out. Knees stay over the ankles. Push it back. Great stretch for the hamstrings. And roll up with a flat back, pushing up through the hands so that you're protecting that lower back, not using it to come back up again. One more time, step out, straight down. Hold in there, a couple deep breaths. Pushing up on the back of the chair, step into the chair and up. We're going to step back from the chair, not very far this time. I want you to roll that hip underneath. So where you had that tabletop, we're going to roll up and bring the hips in, squeezing the lower abs, bringing the hip up, which is going to put you in a neutral, shoulder blades back. We are in a plank. How far out you go with that plank is really up to you. Also, you should have a solid base on that chair. If it's sliding out from under you, you're going to want to put it up against a wall so that it doesn't. Or the other thing is you can just do the same thing against a wall. Absolutely the same thing. Right here, staying in that plank position, elbows down, 45-degree angle, go down an inch, and then push yourself back up again. Maintain neutral, down. When the elbows come back, they come back at a 45 degrees. So you're not way out to the side. You're not down by the torso. This is the least stress you're going to put on the shoulders. And it's also the most work you're going to put into the chest. Down and back up. But we're really working here are those hips. Holding that hip in. Squeeze the glutes if you need to. And back up. Down. And back up. All right, stay right here in this plank position. Lift one foot up, tap the toe first, find your balance. Front leg has a little bend at the knee, shoulder blades back. You're in that nice neutral position. Lift up, using the muscles in the butt to lift that with, and back down. So what you're really concentrating on here is that the hips stay parallel to the floor. You're not going to let yourself twist out to the side to counterbalance. You're going to use the core muscles to keep you from turning. You also feel this in the hips. Up, small lift. Doesn't have to be a lot. Put the foot down on the floor. Always make sure you've still got those shoulder blades back. Little by little, you may start bending forward because it's easier. Think about it each time before you start, snapping those shoulder blades down and tap one more time. Up and back down. Foot in, other side. So first, start out, feet right underneath you, right side by side, shoulder blades back in your neutral or in your plank position, foot back and lift. So this really is a neutral, as if we were standing and keeping our hips, ears, shoulders, hips all in alignment. It's the same thing right here. It's just that we're leaning. We don't lose that neutral position. We strengthen all the muscles up to hold us there. So even though all that's happening here is the legs coming up, using those butt muscles, those lower glutes, you're working every muscle in the body to hold you tight. Tap, up, and back down one more time. Bring it up, and back down. Step it in. Grab a drink of water. Let's go ahead and sit down. We'll finish up with some stretches. So one thing, you may feel a tightness in the lower back from doing that. That's why we're going to take the feet out, 45-degree angle, making those V's, hands on the thighs, chest out, chin up. You're right on the edge of the chair on this one. You got that glute fold right along the outside edge of the chair, of the seat. Coming down, take a deep breath. So right here, deep breath in, exhale. You can come down farther, but don't let the shoulders fall. Not yet. This is still keeping the back straight. Coming down. So this is specifically lower back and glutes, and then push back up again and inner thighs. Next one we're going to do is that swan dive up, shoulder blades back, bringing the arms down, rolling the shoulders down, chin stays a tennis ball's distance away from the chest. That doesn't change. Chin to chest is always the same distance. All right, now we're going to take arms up at the side, use that to bring you back up again, and arms down. Again, it's an exhale. One more time, arms up overhead, rolling down. This stretches out the entire back, bottom to top. And exhale. Shoulder blades back as you come up and down, taking all the pressure off the lower back. Next one we're going to do is extend out the right leg, toe back, calf muscles, stretching that out. All of those exercises we did, this is what I say, we're working the hips, but the rest of the muscles are all contracted nice and tight to hold you in place. So we do have to stretch them out, even though these aren't the muscles we were focusing on. Release that toe and come forward with the foot relaxed, going for the upper half of the leg, above the knee to the buttocks. Keeping those shoulder blades back, that's the key here. You know where the muscles are that you're trying to hit, above the knee to the butt. You may have to adjust that knee just a little bit more, relax the toe, shoulders back just a little bit more. But you want to isolate above the knee to the bottom of the butt. Other side, same thing. Toe back, shoulder blades back. Come forward. You shouldn't have to come very far forwards if you got those shoulders back. If you roll forward, you really got to reach to get down there. If you keep the shoulder blades back, this is a really small move, which it should be. Plus, you're working those shoulder muscles, those posture muscles. Stretch it out, relax, toe down, and come forward. I got to adjust that knee a little bit as I do this. Take it out just a little bit farther. Extend at the knee to find these muscles in the back of the thigh. And pushing on the thighs, shoulders back first. Bring yourself up. Again, exhale as you come up. So much better for you. Roll on down the road. Grab onto the underneath the thighs, or however deep you can get. Hands don't have to touch. Just get down as low as you can. Exhale all the air out, so that when you come up, bring the arms up overhead. Deep breath in through the nose, pushing the stomach out. You can get maximum oxygenated air in by getting rid of all the stale air that's in your lungs. Stale. Down one more time. Underneath or wherever. All the air to the lungs. Arms up, shoulder blades back. Inhale as you come up. Stomach out. And exhale. What a great workout. I can go take a nap now. All right, guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I will see you on Friday. Please be here. Please bring friends.